Hey fam, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertanton.com, coming to you with your no frills commentary from a singer. Tonight we are watching The Voice. It is the live show's top 12 and there's a lot to go through, so I am just going to kick it right in and start. Portions of the show were pre-recorded. Pre-recorded? Ain't this the live shows? Which portions are pre-recorded? Y'all got to let me know. Public vote is the only thing that matters supposedly now. So there were no more coaches saved, there's no more sing for your survival, there's no more of that. It's straight vote. Okay, two artists go home each week irrespective of team, meaning no coach is guaranteed a spot in the final this year. We started out with Michaela Paige. She did Blow Me, One Last Kiss by Pink. When she started, I wasn't crazy about this in her voice. She was just as confident as normal, but it was just lackluster. It picked up by the time she made it to the bottom of the steps, and it was in a better place in her voice. But I liked last week better, but this wasn't bad. Xtina said she's fun to watch and her voice is bright and bold and strong and full of energy. CeeLo said she works the stage like a professional. Adam said it was an elegant and wonderful performance. Next up was Duron. He did Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Lauryn Hill, with the Lauryn Hill version. I love the New York City background and naturally, and he had a good vibe with this song. His voice was solid on this and he sang it for everything it was worth, and the ending was so sweet. Thanks Xtina for that little blues inflection that you added up in there. CeeLo said it was impeccable and he has a natural sexual appeal and a great voice. And Adam said he found a style with this performance. Adriana Louise was next. She did Good Girl by Carrie Underwood. We got everybody starting at the top of the stairs tonight so far. I just noticed, like, when they do something, they do it over and over and over in the same night. You know, the other night it was like the lights coming up after they start. So they just get on this one thing and whoever produces it that night just sticks with it, just kills it, beats it to death. She was kind of lost in front of all the lights, but her voice was clear and I could hear her well. And she had a nice solid big note and finished up next to Adam. CeeLo said she sounded as great as ever and she was so committed and convicted to what she's singing. Adam said she did a good job and she's so good. Blake said she made it her own and did a good job. It seemed to me like all the coaches gave her kind of a tepid response. I don't know if you guys felt that same thing. Xtina made a good point though. She said that the songs that she's doing, Adriana is doing, are very difficult, and she mentioned Firework. And I mentioned when she did Firework that is a very rangy, difficult song. It goes from being very low to extremely high. And the girls who do it in our bands always struggle with the low part because it's always the high part that they have. It's the lower part that they can't get. So, you know, this girl really has a wide range and she does some great stuff. Make sure to thumb it up, thumb it up, thumb it up. Cody Belew was up next with The Best by Tina Turner. I personally think this was a bad song choice, though Cody did a good enough job with the song. I think he needs to find male songs with power and pathos like he did last week that really shine for me. He knows how to work the stage and was solid vocally, but no wow moments for me. And I love that jacket. I really like that with the shawl collar and the little sparkles. I like that. Let me borrow that piece right there. You can't use it no more. Adam said he thinks Cody is one of the best natural performers left in the show. Blake said he's meant to be on stage, and Xtina said she wants to see more bopping around from him. She wants more up-tempo and him dancing around more. Amanda Brown was up next. She did Spectrum by Florence and the Machine. And she was up on the podium in a flowing gown, but I was having a hard time catching the lyrics in the low parts of the song. Naturally, the top notes just sailed, and I thought she was having problems finding what to do with her hands because she just kept coming up like kind of like a ballerina. She just kept going, you know, doing the same thing, and it didn't need to be that while she was singing. It was just too much of that for me. If you see, okay, and I did it a lot less than she did it. And I also thought that the look that she had tonight was a little too indicative of the original artist of Florence. I can't remember her last name at the moment, but I still think she did a great job as usual. Blake said he didn't realize till tonight the many different sounds to her voice. Xtina said she was waiting to connect with who Amanda is as an artist. CeeLo said he considers her his favorite mistake, and this performance was constricting for her. Bryan Keith was up next. He did Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. This sounded really good in his voice, and he was chilling at the mic stand and doing his thing. But again, like last week, I felt like he wasn't connecting to the lyric. The sound of his voice was great, but I wasn't seeing any recognition that there was a story there in the words. She just wasn't giving me any kind of connection, any kind of story, any kind of, I know what this is about and I'm going to tell you about it, or I'm going to, let you know what I feel about it. It just wasn't coming across for me. Blake said he just took the lead for Team Adam. Xtina said he had a cool modern day raspy Sinatra thing going on. CeeLo said it was a good comparison with Amy Winehouse's voice. And they announced that tomorrow night Xtina will be performing during the Elimination Show. And then Cassadee Pope came up. She did Behind These Hazel Eyes by Kelly Clarkson. She picked up the guitar, and this was another really rangy song for her that had her start very low in the bottom, which was too low kind of for her to make room for those higher notes. But she really had a good fierceness and energy. Even standing there with the guitar, she was just working it and doing her thing, and she nailed the big notes on the top dead on. Blake stood for her, gave her a standing ovation. Xtina said it was her favorite performance from her this far. Adam said he finally got a glimpse into the soulfulness of who she is. Trevin Hunte was up next. He did When a Man Loves a Woman, Percy Sledge. There is so much passion and power in his vocal, and he used it sparingly in the beginning of this performance. I don't know if I had something in my eye or if I was ready to cry, but I had to rub on it because I was like, and then he started sounding like Fantasia with the squalls. I was like, oh my God, I was ready to shout. Oh, I thought this was an incredible performance, and that last note was amazing. Adam said he had a gift from God and he'd never heard anything like it. Blake said he didn't leave anything but blood and guts on the stage. And Xtina said he brought it home for her. Melanie Martinez was up next. She did Cough Syrup by Young the Giant. She started out sitting up under the stage, which I thought was cute, and it tickled me, right? It tickled me to no end, okay? And I was trying to get into this performance, but truthfully, I was still stuck on Trevin's performance. It just had not worn off, and I was just still sailing from it. And I was just kind of watching her like... She seemed to get a little emotional at the end of the song. Blake said he never heard her project as much as she did on this one, and she has the most unique sound in the competition. Xtina said it was her most emotional performance. Nicholas David came out with Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, and he got the big band treatment on this with the all brass band and all that good stuff going on all up and down the steps, and then they spread out into the over the stage, right? He had a few cracks while he was singing in front of the stairs, and the second one he made me jump because I was like, it was just a surprise. I didn't expect it out of him. He's usually so good, so dead on, so perfect that I really was not expecting that. And then he went down into his lower register and sounded really good. Adam said he's so strange and beautiful, and it felt like he was trying to catch up with it at times. He thought it was a little fast and he was trying to catch up with the music. Blake said we can't wait to see what he does next. And to me, Nicholas looked like he wasn't happy with his performance when the coaches were talking, especially CeeLo. And I've seen that look before, and I've had that look before. I don't think he was happy with it at all. Sylvia Yacoub was up next with My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Big undertaking. She got a stage full of violins for this, right? And Xtina told her to make it more like Beyonce with the soulfulness, and she was struggling with that in the beginning. She was trying to find places to do a little riff here or that, and it just wasn't working. At one point she did one that was way off. Then I think she just let that go, and it seemed like she dropped it. And she got a lot better. I thought she had a few good moments and sang the song pretty well. She pushed a bit at one point, but it all came out pretty good for me. CeeLo said wow and said it was the second best performance of the song he'd ever heard. Adam said it was very ambitious and she did a good job, especially in her higher register. Carson Daly announced a new thing for them with the voting. He said if an artist's song is in the top 10 of the iTunes charts, then their votes will be multiplied by 10. Wow, that is going to be a major game changer for some people, because remember at some points in the competition, I think it was the first season, like 2 people charted in the top, like 1 and 2, like they were 1 and 2, so that's going to move them way away from anybody else if they chart. So that'll be interesting to see how that changes up the voting. Terry McDermott was up last. He did More Than the Feeling by Boston, and he was in full rocker mode for this, and the high notes were pretty incredible for me. He looked very comfortable in the band setting and stayed connected to the mic stand, and I wasn't mad at him. He was carrying that mic around like Like he was like glued to it or something. He kept it the whole time, right? It seemed to me like he was more connected to the material tonight than he was last week also. Very good performance. CeeLo said it was damn good. Adam said people don't realize how good Terry is. And I guess because it's so high and he's trying to do this rocker stuff that's like really amazing. But I hear a lot of people do this stuff every week. So I think he's a very, very good vocalist, and I think he did a wonderful job tonight. So this is Robert Anton, robertanton.com. I hope you enjoyed the commentary, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for the Elimination Show. I'm out.